Australian tourism's had a good year as far as business events go. 930,000 arrivals in 2012, which was an 11% increase from the previous year. So all the sectors growing, conventions, incentives, even trade fairs or exhibitions growing. So good news for a high yielding sector for Australian tourism.
Where does all this feed into the 2020 plan?
The 2020 plan is a yield strategy. Tourism 2020 looked at how do we double the value of overnight visitors to our country, and the business event sector spending sometimes 4 times as much as a leisure person is a really big part of it. When we did the plan, the business event sector was worth about 8.5 billion. We predicted it could get to 16 billion and almost doubling in value. It's already 12.5 billion at the end of 2012. So we think it'll exceed the $16 billion target by 2020, a major part of the 2020 strategy.
And where's the major growth coming from?
It's coming from everywhere, but we're seeing huge growth off smaller numbers out of markets like India and China, as well as other Asia. But the traditional markets are providing great growth as well. A real bounce back in the US, a real bounce back in the UK. So it's a mix of business across the world. I think people are convening and meeting and travelling more than ever, and it's a real bounce back, I guess, from the global financial crisis.
You talked today of the growth in and the need for face-to-face meetings.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of talk about augmented reality and video conferencing, but all these convention centres are building more space, and that's because there is a need for it. I think more and more in this world of, this Twitterverse, people want to catch up face to face, form relationships and engagements, do contracts, do negotiations and do deals. And I think that's the value of this sector.
And from an Australian tourism standpoint, more of your money is going to the business sector.
We put about a third more money in last year to get it up over $5 million, and with the Asian Marketing Fund we plan to put more money into the business event sector again. It's a very targeted approach. When you talk to a corporate end user whether you're going to be successful or not. So it's a great way to spend our money in a very direct way to get the business to come, and we want to keep investing.
Why do you think people want to come here?
Look, there's no doubt that we did a lot of research actually, and from a safety and a value for money proposition actually, we're one of the top couple in the world. Unsurpassed natural beauty, goes without saying that Australia is a sought after place for those leisure reasons, but more and more our food and wine. Look, the main reason though for business event people is that we do events very well. They get great outcomes, they get great business to business opportunity, and that's really the key success factor in this area.
You talked also about the second super centre, and you said it was Sydney. There is a rivalry between Sydney and Melbourne. Both are very essential, aren't they?
They really are, and look, not before time Sydney's redeveloping that whole Darling Harbour area. It'll be a super centre, I think, on a scale with Melbourne, but also with places like Abu Dhabi and Birmingham and Chicago and these other places that compete for the international business that we want. So it's good for Australia. And you heard before Peter King, the head of the convention centre, here say that 2014 he's full. So we need more space, not just Sydney but here in Melbourne.